So, in the last class we have learned about the global strategic management. It was our unit 8, the last unit. So, we will go for the quick recap of what we have learned in the last class. Then we will go start our revision class. We will start from what we have learned in unit 1, because as your course is already finished. So, quick recap of the last class which we have learned. We learned about the essence of global strategic management. So, what actually is global strategic management and how do the strategy works for global strategic management? There were few points which we have discussed. The very first point which we have discussed in the essence of strategic management is environmental scanning. So, you are going for a global enterprise. The very first and foremost thing which is required for you is look for the environment scanning. Environment scanning in the terms of what is happening around the world, what happening in the business, both at a national level and most importantly what is happening at the international level. Basically the economics of different worlds, international worlds, the kind of political system in the international world, the kind of legal system in the international world, the kind of market conditions happening, what kind of products and services are needed. So, all sort of market research in terms of political, social, cultural and legal contexts come under these points. You have to scan the entire global business operating if we are going for the international corporation like multinational corporations. The second point which we have discussed, once you have analyzed the environment, the second points come is formulation of global strategy. Formulation of global strategy. You have analyzed the international and national environment. The second step is how do you operate your business, what is the scope of your business, what kind of planning you have having, the kind of market research you have done. So, all these points comes under this the formulation of global strategy, and it start with setting of the scope of the global business, the kind of business you are going to enter, what kind of research you have done, the mode of entry, how you are planning to enter in this global business, then all other things, what kind of product, services, price you have decided, the market you are going to enter, the mode that you are entering, your objective of your company, your workforce, the training and development of your employee and everything. These all things comes under the formulation of global strategy. Next points comes the competitive advantage. Competitive advantage. You have scanned the environment, you have formalized your scope of your business, you have formalized your business planning, you have formalized your product price and everything. Now, on what basis we are doing this? What is the competitive advantage on that behalf you are entering in the international market? See, you are entering in the international market. So, your scope, your access to the customer, your access to the market it's way too large as compared to national market. So, probably definitely you are having some sort of competitive advantage, that is why you are planning to go beyond your national border. So, the core what is the core competency of your business? Core competency. Core competency is something like that which cannot be imitated, like you can imitate the product, but the core competency which a multinational corporation has, that cannot be imitated, and it lies in your probably your product differentiation. Probably your product is very different from others. Product differentiation, your cost leadership, so for example we can take Apple's products. So, core competency of Apple lies in its technology, the kind of technology it is having. So, every time it launches this product with a very different and new technology, and the demand for that product is throughout the world. Second is, probably you are making some products which economics of scales are there. So, there is a cost differentiation, not it is not meant that there is a lower cost and quality is not maintained, no. Cost differentiation says that cost is just apt, but not compromising with the quality. So, this is what comes under the cost differentiation, or probably you have some other core competency, like you have some design capability, some any kind of product and services which covers the entire value chain, and you are having some sort of competitive advantage apart from your competitors. This is known as your core competency, and mostly international corporations thrive in the international market on the behalf of their core competencies, something they have different from others and that they leverage in the international model across the national borders. Next points we have discussed about the, you are going international. So, probably if I am going international, so definitely there are some risks, not like our national borders. So, multiple risks are there. So, how you are going to manage the risk and how you are going to mitigate the risk, and that is known as the risk management. Fifth point is risk management. And what is the most vulnerable risk in the context of international business is currency fluctuation. Currency fluctuation is one of the most important risks in the international business. So, there are many safeguards for currency fluctuation. There are many financial tools like derivatives and everything which safeguard our currency fluctuations. And most important thing, keep on a continuous scanning of the environment from legal point, from political stability point will help in mitigating the currency fluctuations. Next point we have discussed, how do you enter in the international business? So, mode of entry. Mode of entry in international business. In the previous lesson we have learned various modes of entry, like first we have discussed about this export and import, then there is strategic alliance, there are joint ventures, wholly owned subsidiaries, so franchisees. So, everything, all these mode of entry depends upon the kind of product and services you are having. Like McDonald's having, it is in food and beverage industry. So, it is the mode of entry for McDonald's is franchisee. Apple is having a very core technology as its core competency. So, and this is the patent kind of product and services which Apple is producing. So, Apple is not going for any kind of exporting, licensing or franchisee. Apple's mode of entry is wholly owned subsidiaries. Everything is done, run and operationalized by only by the Apple company. There is no partner, no strategic alliance, nothing. So, these are, and then we have to as the essence of strategic management, the seventh point lies in the global marketing and branding. Global marketing and branding. The objective of going international is I want to expand my brand beyond my national borders. So, your brand is international and national and it is going global. So, global marketing, how do you maintain the quality, the identity of your brand while expanding on the national border? Because during this expansion there are chances that your brand may dilute. So, there is a very fine line balance to maintain the core brand identity and going international. So, strategic management lies in how this my brand should go on crossing my borders, but the important thing, I have to maintain the core identity of my brand for what I have meant, for what the brand has image in the customer minds. Like the Apple has an image of very strong technology which nobody can compete or surpass, something like that. McDonald has the brand image is like it's basically depends upon the in which country McDonald is operating. It's operating in India, it's perfectly about the menu and everything is made according to the choice of the consumer preference in India. McDonald in some another country, it has made, so core competency and the brand image of McDonald lies in a price sensitive and according to culture, taste and menu of that particular branch. So, it is a big brand probably covering the entire globe, but maintaining its core identity. So, this is what is most important is how do you manage in global marketing the branding of your company. Then next point is organizational structure of your company. Organizational structure of your company. Is the structure of your company is supporting the international operation? Is the leadership of your company supporting the diverse workforce? So, strategic management lies in managing the organizational structure, because you have to support not the culture and preference of your only home country. There are many host country where different culture, different workforce are there. So, is your organizational structure support diversification? Is your organizational structure supports diverse workforce? Is there a strong leadership is there in your company's structure or company's culture which support diverse workforce? Is the leadership is that is strong that will give a conducive environment for the workers of multinational company? So, everything is this comes under this topic of what kind of organizational structure your company is having if it is going for a for international expansion. Then next point is innovation and adoption, and that is innovation and adoption. So, see, innovation and adoption, these are 2 points which are very important for going international. Reason, the main thing that in the dynamic market workforce, you have to keep on changing and evolving according to the taste and preference of the consumer. So, how easily you will adopt and how easily you innovate yourself, that is your core strength. The more you, the word for innovation and adoption, we can say that how agile is your company. How agile is your company? The agility means, are you embracing the new technology? Are you embracing the new workforce? Are you embracing the new culture? Second thing, is your company is that much strong enough to adopt the changes happening in the political and legal environment? So, innovation and adoptions, these are 2 very important points for growing international, because these things keep you alive, these things keep you energetic and expanding your business. Then performance measurement and evaluation. Until unless you cannot measure the kind of work you are doing, there must be some feedback in the system. There must be some performance management and there must be some performance evaluation. How your company is working, how your employees are doing, what kind of feedback you are getting from your employees, companies and products. That is most important point, because it completes the loop of the entire business. So, continuously measuring the performance, continuously getting the evaluation, continuously getting the feedback, that is very important. Then lastly, we have learned about we can in the essence we can say that surviving in a global international market, we have it's a challenge. It's definitely give you access to a wider market, a wider customer, a wider competition. So, profitability and expansion and branding of your brand definitely help, but it is not that easy because it brings lots of challenges in currency fluctuation, in managing the multiple diverse force. So, this strategic management is help you in mitigating. That does not mean that you gonna, that does not mean that you cannot go international or something like that. Strategic management will help you in analyzing all the pros and cons of going international, and these are the steps for the, these are the basically essence of strategic management, which help in diversifying the company in a national, across the borders. So, this was the essence for the last class which we have learned. Now, today we are going to take the whole international business strategic management as a whole, how this business started, how it evolved, what kind of the driving force behind this international business, what kind of challenges we have learned. So, I can say it's, let us start with the overview of the international business in strategic management. Clear? Strategic management in international business. Then the question started, how this international business started. What was the history behind that? The international business is not a new concept, it started way back from the first example which we can take it from the Silk Road. That is, I think, beyond the, it is somewhere in before 14th and 15th century. And that Silk Road had basically made a way to international business which connects Asia and Europe for their trade. Trade like there are trade for silk, trade for spices, trades for many other products which, and the road basically connects Asian market to the European market. So, that was the very first beginning of the how this international trade started. And then as comes the later 15th and 16th centuries, so many countries like Portugal and Spain, so they have a very famous explorer which their voyage across the sea explored the different part of the world. Vasco da Gama is one of them from Portugal. So, Spanish and Portuguese traders navigated the entire world through sea route to go for an international trade. So, this is how the international business started. Then comes the era of this World War started, industrializations happened. So, everything industrialization enhances the international trade, and after the World War II basically in 1944-1945, the entire world realized that there is a need for going global. So, that need basically gave birth to two major institutions which is known as World Bank and International Monetary Fund, IMF. The birth of these two main international bodies conceptualized after the World War. So, these two major institutions has a very strong impact on the international trade, because these institutions provided loan funds and going for the business not only on the national level, but on the international level. So, the birth of this international trade from Silk Road, then 15th, 18th centuries and 19th centuries industrial revolution, then after Second World War. So, everything have started coming global, the entire world as a globe, and they are providing facilities for the trades, is seamless trades throughout the world. So, the history of this international market is started basically, we can say that after the this Silk Road and everything. Now, the question comes, what are the drivers of this international business? What are the factors behind the expansion of this international business? the driving force behind this IB, how this business has grown across the nation and crosses the border, which main factors are responsible for this international border. So, key drivers of international business. The very first one is the technology. Technological advancement. Technological advancement has changed the entire business operation. In fact, it's transformed the entire value chain from sourcing the raw product till the finished goods and services. How there are many digital platform, the high speed internet, mobile technology, all these are some of the these tools are basically the whole business scenario changed, surpassing the geographical borders and everything. Internet and digital platform has we can say that it revolutionized this international market. So, technology is one of the main aspect for going business international, and it is the driving force behind the international business. Cloud computing, yes, another thing. Cloud computing is a new thing which is comes under the technology factor for the international business. Apart from technology, the political and legal policies. The political and legal policies. See, the world is providing some rules and regulation on a global level, so that different countries come on the same platform and operate smoothly. So, there must be some kind of policy, some kinds of rules and regulation. So, this is how the World Trade Organization comes in the pictures. The policies and the practice of World Trade Organizations allows businesses on the international level, and it allows different countries to come on a same platform and operate smoothly. So, what kind of policies, what kind of legal policies throughout the world, how smooth and conducive all these policies are providing a good landscape for the international business. That is another factor for going business across the border, because as such we cannot go in another country and operate the business. We have to follow some rules and regulation, and there have to be a certain body which governs this international business, right. So, apart from the technology, the international policies, legal policies, political policies, these policies helps in growing the business international. Then there comes this cultural exchange and global awareness. Cultural exchange and global awareness. And global awareness. The first thing is clear, your business is not anymore national, you are crossing the border. So, how much the kind of culture the another country is having, it is very important to understand and study that culture. And with the help of technology and everything, it's now has become easy to understand the different cultures. And globally we are aware of not only from our home country's culture, apart from the host country culture, this global awareness in the entire world is enhancing how the international trades happens. Previously we were not having the access of this kind of smart technology, so we were not aware of this what is happening in the entire globe. Now, the culture of one country, the culture of another country, these all things we know by sitting in our own country. And for the international business, there are many different policies and training program for their expats to go in that particular country and learn about their culture and everything. As in the last class we have taken the example of IKEA. So, IKEA before starting its operation in India, IKEA sent its people in India for more than a year or two to study only the culture and consumer behavior of this Asian subcontinent to operate their store before opening their store in Hyderabad. So, global awareness and cultural awareness is very important, and these forces basically helps you in expanding. Not necessary that something is very much popular in one country and that same product is popular in other country. Probably some changes are needed in that product according to the kind of culture that company is having, the kind of consumer that company is having. Right? This McDonald's is again setting the same example. Check the menu of this McDonald's and you will see it changes from its menu from country to country. In India, we have many vegetarian options and we have many price sensitive menu in McDonald's. IKEA has made its furniture according to the needs of the Indian consumer. We do not have large space to live, we have small houses in India. So, all furniture of IKEA are meant to be like this, small and foldable. So, these all sort of changes companies make according to the kind of consumer and culture that company is having, and it is very important to understand that. So, the questions come, the what kind of impact that technology has given in the international business. The role of IT. See, technology is one of the biggest factor in expansion of the international business. So, how information technology helps in expanding the business. The very first thing that technology has a capacity to analyze big data. The analyzing of big data help you in identifying the different trends across the culture, in managing the choices of the customer, in managing the access to the different parts of the country. So, big data, analyzing the wide range of data, analyzing the wide range of data, that is the biggest, this one is the biggest impact which information technology has given to the business nowadays. Second thing comes, we have learned about the digital marketing. Apart from analyzing this big data, the kind of digital platform nowadays the businesses are having, like we have a digital mode for paying the paying business, we have digital mode of selecting our products, we have digital modes of analyzing the entire business process, entire supply chain. So, this digitalization impacts not only just one business activity, but it basically affects the entire value chain in terms of payments, in terms of access to the products, in terms of seamless supply chain without disruptions. Take the example of Amazon. This company has nothing something like that brick or mortar. There is no store of Amazon in terms of physical store. Everything is on a digital platform. You access the product through digital platform, you pay the product through different platform, through digital platform. That company supply chain basically lies on only this digital technology. So, try to analyze how technology helps the business, and by analyzing the big data, by making a smoothless business activity through providing many digital platforms. Then not only technology, there are many other factors which is very important for the international business. The next factors comes the role of international trade and investment. The role of international trade and investment. See, international trade, like how the economics of two countries operate, how the economics of the entire world works, and how these economics provide a platform for different countries to come together and operate. This is the one thing. Now, apart from the international trade, FDI means foreign direct investment. How another country comes in different countries and invests there. This is what known as foreign direct investment. So, if we take the example of our country, before 1990, 1990 is famous for this famous LPG policy, liberalization, privatization and globalization. The word itself is globalized, liberalized, it means providing free trade. Privatizing means not everything is governed under the central government. We are offering our services and product and services to the private companies. Then globalization, not only in our national level we are privatizing, we are inviting the entire world to come and invest in our country. So, this is what comes the FDI. FDI plays a major role in going business global. Before 90 we do not have that policies, that is why we were not able to access the international products basically. Now, as we allowed FDI in our country, we are in excess of, you can imagine any brand, and that is accessible to us. Have you ever realized how this is possible? This is only possible because the legal and political system of our countries allowed foreign direct investments. The different MNCs are allowed to open their venture in our company. Different nationals are allowed to invest in our country. So, this not only brings the different brands, the different products and services in our country, it helps in generating the employment in our own country. And the most important thing, the being as a consumer, the biggest benefit we get from this FDI and multinational corporations are that we are getting the world class product, and that is too at a very competitive rate in our country. So, you are getting world class product, I am saying, and that to a very competitive range, because there are many competitors for that same product. So, we have allowed FDI, we have allowed MNCs, we are in excess of multiple products and services, that too of international brands, because we have grown internationally, the business has grown internationally. Then second points come the global supply chain. We are in excess of different products. How this is possible? This is only possible because there is a seamless global supply chain. This is international business class. This interconnected world, the whole world is interconnected and interconnected with very complex network. The network is very complex and the whole world is interconnected. So, the role of global supply chain is playing in delivering the right product at the right time. This thing lies only in the how smooth is your global supply chain, because global supply chain starts from the raw material, accessing to the raw material to the finished goods and services. In fact, supply chain does not start ends here, it will go further beyond in terms of customer relationship management. So, this entire value chain depends upon how smooth is your global supply chain, because that global supply chains connects a very complex network of interconnected world. So, these are the few points, and there are many other points which we will discuss. The kind of, now the thing is, what kind of challenges we face in the global supply chain. Just a minute. See, global supply chain is definitely providing you a very smoothless operation, but there are many challenges in terms of global supply chain. One of the biggest challenges, if any kind of disruption happens in the entire value chain, from sourcing to the raw material to the finished goods, in terms of political instability, in terms of, you can say that legal instability or market demand situation fluctuation. So, these challenges are always there when we are operating at the international way, or when we are operating in such a complex global chain, because this is not smooth at all. It has a very wide range. Now, the kind of impact that this international trades, which we can see in the entire world, the whole world is divided into the eastern part and the western world. So, the power shift between east and west and everything, but this how this international business has started growing, the power shifts dynamics had shifted from west to east to west. Previously, western countries are supposed to be more powerful and something like that, but now because of this trade and policies changes and everything, we can take the example of our this country India. It has becoming the 5th largest economy in the world. So, power shift from western worlds to Asian worlds, how this is possible? Only because of this there is the entire global business, the entire international trade has changed with the help of technology, with the help of legal and political policy, with many factors like China and India. China is one of the biggest manufacturing hub, I think for the entire globe we can say. China has provided a very robust mechanism for the manufacturing unit. And if we talk about the India is coming into the manufacturing, but not surpassing China. But one thing good about India it has a workforce, we can say cheap labor, that is not, this is basically an advantage for production industry. So, India is providing skilled, non-skilled, semi-skilled labor, cheap labor. Then we have conducive business environment to allow different companies in our country. So, as we are growing, we are growing economically, and economically we are growing because we are growing in international trade, expanding our boundaries beyond borders. So, and India is one of the biggest consumer market. There is companies, different companies in Europe, companies in United States, in America, in different continent of the world. But all these companies are looking forward for their product because the biggest consumer base lies in India. And the consumer base which we have here in our India is basically suitable for all sorts of products and services and all sorts of price range. That is the important thing. We can buy products from 2000, we can buy products from 20 rupees. So, the spectrum is very continuum for price sensitive consumer in India, and we have one of the largest consumer base for the world market, we can say. I am saying for the world market we have one of the biggest consumer base. Clear? Now, we will come across another thing. Apart from this international like World Trade Centers, IMF and World Bank, there are many national, see, the whole world is helping to grow for the international. The whole world is becoming like a global village, like providing a very smooth roadmap for the international business. But there are many regional institutions. See, IMF, World Bank, WTO, these are going to be international, but like take the example of as we are going international, so we will talk about everything in the context of the entire globe. Globe means there everyone has heard about this European Union. Then what is this European Union? The 27 European nations came together. What was the reason for coming together? The only reasons that there should be no trade barriers across this country in terms of what? European Union has just one currency for all the nation, that is euro. How the international institutions help? Now we are talking about how the national institutions, regional institutions basically help in growing the business. We will take few examples. First one, we are taking the European nation because that is one of the regional contribution in the international business. 27 nations are having just one currency, one visa. Try to analyze by yourself the one currency. It means there is a least risk of currency fluctuations in that 27 nations who are working together. There is no visa entry, just one visa which is valid for the all different nations. So, whatever the legal challenges is happened while entering in another country, this problem will be solved. And why these European nations are doing these things? Just to make their economy, making their continent a very strong economy in terms of business. By making doing business in 27 countries and you are dealing with just one currency, one visa, many of the problems solved in itself. Many problems solved in itself. Many risk mitigates automatically without doing anything, because that regional community help in growing the international business. Now we know about the SAARC. These regional institutions help to grow business in the South Asian regions. In SAARC, the countries like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Maldives, all these countries comes under together. Though we are not having the same currency, we are not having the same visa, but many countries are making their many nationals are making their countries visa free. It means there is no visa, no legal requirement while you are entering in that country, and Dubai is one of the example for that. Dubai is making entry for anyone visa free. For what? The only reason is that they want to grow internationally with the help of business, and the legal processing for any business for going international is a very tedious process, because many legal challenges we have to face when we go for the international trades. So, for that legal and political, we have already discussed many firms providing legal and political services for going business international. Price Waterhouse, we have taken the name of PwC, Price Waterhouse Cooper, then there is Ernst and Young, and there are not exactly remember. So, these companies helps in mitigating the legal and challenges, and these regional institutions try to help even more by providing the country visa free, by providing just one currency for all. There is another institution which is known as NAFTA. NAFTA is North American regional, between North America, South America and Mexico. So, this NAFTA works as three nations works together for their cross border trades and investments. So, try to imagine the entire group. The European nations come together, South Asian regions come together, North American, South American and Mexican regions come together to work on a regional basis. Then there is a trade institutions like WTO, there is banks like World Bank, there is a monetary fund like IMF. So, why these institutions on international, on national or regional levels are there? The only thing is that we want to grow in a business by crossing the border and by providing a very smooth roadmap for growing the business internationals. And in the journey of going international, the things which helps, the very most important thing is technology. Technology is one of the biggest driving force behind the going business international. Though when there was no technology, The business was there, the business was still there, and we have learned in that form of how the Silk Road started, how the this sea voyage, like the maritime navigation by Portuguese and Spanish sailors have done, that they basically started the international trade. They basically started the international trade in search of spices, in search of fine quality of silks and everything. Then World War happened, industrial revolutions happened. This um, this Ford company started in somewhere in 1918 in America. That company has gone international, and we were talking about the, if we are going international, the what some sort of competitive advantage that company must have. So, we take the example of Ford. If we are taking the example of Ford company, Henry Ford has done mass production. Mass production means, mass production is producing in bulk in very large quantity. So, that provide basically economic of scale for that company. And there is one T model car in black color. The color is black, sold from decades. The same model sold throughout the world. This is what known as going international. This is what known as economies of scale. So, this businesses grows with the help of this institution, that need regional institutions, with the help in your product and with the technology that helps in enhancing the product and services. But try to remember, Ford have done these things in the beginning of 20th century, but this thing is not possible today because the entire market dynamics, business environment, consumer changes with technology and everything, and with the buying power. So, if I want to buy a car, not necessarily that company is making the black car, I will buy only that car. No, I have my own choices, I have my own preference, and that is why international business lies on one of the biggest player, which is known as cultural awareness of the global business. So, try to understand the kind of culture that country is having, the kind of consumer preference that company is having. This is most important for growing nowadays. If I want to produce a car like Maruti Suzuki done for the India, so Suzuki learned the Indian road condition. Suzuki learned about the how price sensitive the Indian consumer is. Suzuki learned about the color choices of Indian consumer, and that is how the Maruti Suzuki basically rocked the Indian car segment a lot. Now, many different car companies are coming into the India, and everybody try to learn the road conditions of India, the price sensitivity of the Indian consumers, and the family structure of Indian families and their choices in terms of their colors, choices in terms of not only the color, choices in terms of the time of the year when they buy the maximum cars. So, this depends upon the culture. During festival we buy more, during some auspicious occasion we more. So, these are the very fine intricacy of cultural awareness for growing business international, but company do these exercise every time when they enter into global business. So, next point, what is the concept of global integration? The concept of global integration. Global integration. We are connecting the entire world. So, integration means summing up all these things. So, what you are summing? Supply chain. You are summing diverse customer force. Diverse customers across the world. Political and legal system. Political and legal complexity basically. We are summing everything. Technology. Currency. See, the word is global integration. You are connecting, summing up many things for going international. So, this integration is not only that you identify one market in the Asian region, you are operating in some European or North American part of the country and you directly came and started your business. No, your business is the sum of many challenges. Not only the challenges, your business is a sum of many opportunities and that automatically brings challenges. So, that does not mean that we cannot operate internationally. Every challenges brings some sort of opportunity, and in today's world if I am taking about going international, so this is not a choice that go international. No, this is a necessity for today's world. Going international for your product and services is not a choice for a business today. It is a necessity because the entire world is becoming as a one global village. So, when the whole world is coming together, so why you are left upon? Why cannot my product and service access the diverse market? Why cannot I earn the profit? So, this is how the international business happened, and the core lies behind international business is how you are managing strategically all your businesses, how you are integrating the global business. So, the factors which helps in integration is you are accessing a very diverse customer marketplace, you are having a technology in your hand, you are having a currency, but the important thing about the currency is you have to look for many challenges which are related with the currency. You have to learn for the currency exchange, you have to learn from the monetary world of the international market, the rate of currency, the risk of currency fluctuations. Then supply chain plays a very major role because you are connected in interconnected world. Your host is another country, your home country is another, not necessarily that you are operating in just one country, you are operating in multiple country. So, the supply chain, because the longest is the supply chain, it brings with cost. जितनी सप्लाई चेन आपकी लंबी होगी उतनी आपकी कॉस्ट बढ़ेगी. सो तो thriving in the international business, integrating the supply chain cost effectively is very important. As I am giving you the example of IKEA, IKEA has made a local partners in India for its supply chain. IKEA is accessing cotton and wood not from the Sweden that is the home country of IKEA. IKEA is accessing everything from the local partner here in India, and this brings a very major difference in the cost. That is why IKEA's furnitures are affordable to Indian consumer. So, how you are managing, and first thing, if I am managing local partner here in the host country, this will brings a very important cost differentiation because my supply chain has shrunk in terms of delivery time and everything, and how to manage this partner at local level, there are some challenges for sure, but it's easy to manage on the national level rather than going for the supply chain for the international level because there is a time and there is a cost. So, you have to integrate everything for your international business. Second thing is political and legal system. You a very thorough analysis of what's happening, what is the legal system of that particular, what is the tax, what kind of taxes are there. We have, as we have given example of, there are many countries which are known as tax havens for business, like Sweden. Sweden is, Switzerland is one of them. Then there is Khare island in North Caribbean and every these things. So usually they think that these tax havens where you can invest anything and there is nobody, not any legal and political system to ask a question about it. You can invest, you can deposit anything, something like that, but this is not we are talking in a very positive terms. Though they are known as tax havens, tax havens means company has to, every company wants its profit, but legal system and this taxation of that country imposes on the product and services somehow profit affected. So maxinational companies try to deroute their profit from one country to another country just to maximize their profit and minimize their taxes. Just a second. Yes? So these tax havens and everything, these are not the examples which you can take in some positive terms, but yes, there are tax haven and company do deroute their tax liabilities from one country to another country. I have given you example of Google, I have given you example of, I think Google and some another very big business company. They have to, again, if you are going for all these rules and regulations, avoiding this tax duties and everything, there are penalties on international level and companies has to pay for this. Companies has to pay for this. So integrating the political, and in fact Google has to pay a very huge fines for this tax liabilities. They basically use Irish sandwich strategy, means going from earning profit in one country and then filing tax in another country. So somehow your tax liabilities will reduce and your profit will earn a higher margin, but that is not very ethical. So they have to pay penalties and everything. Singapore is the one country which we can take example, is also known as tax haven, but tax haven in the sense of transparency, not in the sense that you can deposit anything and nobody will ask. Singapore provides a very positive environment, very transparent environment, very legal environment for the business to grow in everything. So this is how the global integration of the business works. You have to think many factors, many challenges, but every challenges is there opportunities. Opportunity in terms of you are in now access of a very large diverse marketplace. You can diversify your business according to taste and the customer, and that diversification and that access to huge consumer base is nothing but the profit, and we have seen how MNCs earn profit. So these one MNC is working in my country and in my home country. So there is a legal and political system will have a very strong hold on that company, because you cannot exploit my company. I have invited you to work in my company, but that does not mean exploitation of my resources in terms of natural resources, my resources in terms of human resources. So that is why this legal and political system integration is important. So every company has a fixed rule that 49% to 51% investment in country. I am not allowing only full 100% FDI, but in many industries in India there are now 100% FDI is allowed. But basic in retail industry, that ratio is like 49 and 51. 49 is for the foreign country and 51 is in line my hand. So there have to have some checks while these MNCs come into our different countries. So that is why political systems helps, political system disrupts both. Instability in political system is not good for any business. Instability in the entire world for any reason directly affects the share markets, which is the very visible example I can give you. So, this is all about this how the business started, how the global business integrate, and what kind of driving forces behind this international business, like this technology, main thing, the customer diversification, cultural awareness, digitalization of the entire market, this establishments of this big institutions, establishments of the regional institutions, all these things help in going business international. So, this is the beginning of international business. In the next class, again we will take the entire revision class of what we have learned in this 7-8 lessons. So, thank you very much. We end this class here. उनको बता दीजिए हो गया है वो क्लास हो गई है जो यहाँ पे पता नहीं कोई आएंगे खुद ही आएंगे रहने दीजिए कोई है ही नहीं The last thing I think which we can discuss right now, the challenges which we are facing with this, the COVID-19, this I mean one of the event which happened in the entire history, I mean that challenges that COVID-19 brings to the international market. We have seen for the entire 2 years, every single business study on the entire world comes to the halt. First time in the history, the transportations comes to the halt, including rails, including this air transportation, and the economy literally shattered. The economy literally shattered of the entire world. So, but right now we are, as COVID-19 is over and we are again growing and we are catching the speed, but the challenge was there. I mean great challenge was there when COVID-19 was there and we have seen it. But this is how this business must go on, something like that. So, this is what happened. Thank you. हो गया है, इसको बंद कर दीजिए। हाँ।